Good morning, Facebook family. How y'all doing this lovely day? I have recently been watching YouTube. God forbid I probably should stop, but I just love watching idiots. Okay, well, now they got the socialism, capitalism, communism arguments. They've been doing it for a while, but it's getting funnier and funnier and funnier every time. Well, I just recently saw something on YouTube that brought my mind to a whole different situation than normal. How many people actually believe half the crap that these so called college students are doing today? Okay, I'm using my voice right now and I'm running my mouth. They, on the other hand, are using their voice by vandalism. They are using their voice by blowing up stuff. They're using their voice by beating up the elderly. Ah, man, back in when I was their age, if I even thought about hitting somebody that were elderly, man, I'd have my ass tore up for days. Hey, Sheila. Okay, now then, I saw this young kid, he's probably 12, 13 years old, that said that different things that the economy does not work, which I agree. A lot of things in the economy just does not work. But to sit there and say that communism works, capitalism does not work as often as it should. I mean, you go back to the Great Depression, that was a capitalism fell. Communism, on the other hand, has never worked all the way back to a guy by the first name of Vladimir. He was a communist who caused the death of 60 million people. Okay, 60 million people died because of that man named Vladimir that everybody is worshiping all of a sudden. Yeah, capitalism, it did cause the Great Depression. We got over that. That was a mishap in finances, which happens all the time. But to sit there and say, hey, I'm using my voice by murdering people, I'm using my voice by destroying banks, I'm using my voice by blowing up cop cars, I'm using my voice by stopping ambulances that is trying to rush somebody to the hospital before they die, and in the process causes the person in the ambulance to die. That's a little bit of the extreme. Now then, we're going to go a little bit on two sides here. Now then, I did hear something that one of the protesters says that I actually do agree with. Some of y'all might get mad at me for agreeing with them on one little aspect, but that aspect is abandoned homes, abandoned apartments, abandoned motels. There's a lot of abandoned buildings out there that is absolutely not necessary to be abandoned. We've got 75 to 80 million homeless people. You got 40 to 50 million abandoned places in America alone that is in livable condition. It might need a little bit of modernization, but otherwise they are capable of holding shelter for the homeless. I do agree with that point. I do like watching abandoned shows on YouTube. In a lot of them abandoned places, I would literally love to actually see some of the abandoned houses in America, some of the abandoned motels in America, some of the abandoned apartments in America actually be used for good. Shelter for the homeless, the renovation, some of the homeless guys that have construction experience that was in the military that kind of got blown off by the people here would actually take that liberties of actually renovating these places just so they have a place to live. In the process, they feel useful again. They feel like they belong. And that's what I look at. Now then, I don't look at the fact that people are sitting there saying that certain things work better than others. I say that people need to grow up and use their brains for something other than a hat rack, which I'm using my head as a hat rack right now because my hair is messed up. But I'm tired of people sitting there saying that one thing is better than the other. I'm pro politics, but I'm also anti-politics. And at the same time, that's a lot of people don't understand the pro politics via anti-politics. I'm anti-stupid. Okay. Stupidity does not have a title, does not have a face. Stupidity is stupidity. If you want to use your voice, go out and tell people what you feel, tell people how you think. Don't go blowing people's houses up, blowing up cars, beating up the elderly people and stuff like that. That's not getting you anywhere. I mean, you got anti-bully factions out there that are bigger bullies than the people that they are claiming to be bullies. I saw something recently where this guy was a anti-bully spokesman, and come to find out he had beaten up multiple people with baseball bats, hit 3 people with his car, was domestically beating up his girlfriend on a regular basis, but he was against bullying. Okay, there was another situation where a young lady was sitting there talking about rights of the human nature. People have rights, humans have rights, and she recently had an abortion. How can you have double standards? If you're for life, then why take one? I mean, it just keeps going and going and going. I just don't understand how one person can be for something and yet still be against it. How can I'm going to go back to religion. How can a person sit there and say, I believe in God, but I don't believe in the church? Well, that's a double standard, but it's also a double standard that I've caught myself using. There's a difference between believing in the church and believing in the right church. The Bible also says that the false shepherd will lead their sheep astray. Okay, a false shepherd will lead the sheep astray. And then you got the wolves in sheep clothing. I mean, it just goes around and around and around. I jumped off a topic here for a second because, well, it's random thoughts. That's basically me just ranting about it, just about anything and everything. But I'm going to go back to this communism crap. And yes, I said crap. I'm going to go on to say that it's crap over and over again. I don't care if it upsets you. But I'm going to explain why it's crap. And I mentioned Vladimir. 60 million people dead because he led the sheep astray. Okay. Capitalism must not be that good. I mean, capitalism is Wall Street. Oh, big fell there. Produce. Oh, that's a big fell there. Who eats these days? Unless you mean Tide Pods. Okay, the same people who are sitting there arguing the fact that communism is good are the same people that are eating Tide Pods. They're the same people that's drinking bleach. They're the same people that just recently decided to do a challenge where they're sticking their body parts on burning eye burners of stoves. Okay. These are the same people that decided that it'd be interesting to pour boiling water on their grandmother. Okay. And people are taking advice from people that are eating Tide Pods. Seriously? People are rallying with people that are setting themselves on fire. Really? People are following people that are taping fireworks around their body and setting them off and burning their skin off of them. Really? What does it take to make people realize that ignorant is not something to be proud of? Ignorance is not something to be joyful of. I mean, we're sitting here watching people that are eating Tide Pods that eventually run for president if they live. We got people that are strapping stupid stuff to their bodies, blowing themselves up, talking about it's all in the name of good. We got people burning stuff in the name of good. We got people doing stupid stuff in the name of good. We got people blowing up other people's homes in the name of good. We got people beating up police officers in the name of good. We got people stopping ambulances in the middle of the road in the name of good. Grow the hell up. I mean, seriously, in the name of good? Well, in the name of good, I believe in God. I read the Bible every day in the name of good. I believe that people have a right to use their voice, but I don't believe beating up people. I don't believe in blowing stuff up. I don't believe that's using your voice. I believe using your voice is actually communicating with the world via vocally. When's the last time a person used their voice and blew something up? Oh, wait, that's right. Never. When's the last time that a person went into a communist base and actually succeeded? I think his name was Vladimir, and 60 million people died of starvation. Whoa, I'm sorry, but if 60 million people die of starvation, that's a pretty good sign that somebody's messed up. Okay. Now then, capitalism, I did touch base on that. I'm going to touch base on it a little bit more. Yeah, we had the Great Depression. That was major capitalism fell. And the reason that failed is because economy sucked back then. Then I saw something where a girl was talking about coal mines, the safety hazards when they was running coal mines. People were constantly dying of inhalation of the coal particles. They would blow themselves up in the mines via dynamite. Stuff like that happened, and there's absolutely no way around it. People do fail. I mean, people do get hurt. People do die. But I'd sit there and say that the big hero out of it was a guy named by the first name of Vladimir, who in turn caused the death of 60 million people, and that's their hero. That's who they are fighting to have this country ran like. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that doesn't seem legit. I mean, as long as Tide Pods are still being invented, these people are not going to starve to death. I mean, but I'm really not into taking advice off of people who eat poison. I'm not into taking advice from people who decided that blowing themselves up or burning themselves is interesting. If you're going to eat a Tide Pod and then give me advice on my future, then I'm just going to laugh at you, point at you, and say, no, thank you. I'm not interested. As far as this whole thing, people going out and doing these rallies, I saw something that put the word ignorance to play when this one person said that small businesses should not exist, big business should not exist, that all business should be owned by the workers. Oh, well, that's a smart idea. Let's have all the businesses ran by the workers. Who's going to pay you? Or how about this whole, I saw this one older gentleman, I swear up and down that he was demented as hell. He sat there and said that they should take out all economy. They should have a non-economic standpoint in America. Take away the money, take away everything, make everybody work for free for their food, make everybody work for everything. Hi, Lynn. Yeah, I remember reading back in the history books where people would trade a whole chicken for a loaf of bread. That sounded like a good deal. I mean, fair trade. I'll give you a chicken if you give me some bread, or I'll give you my catch of the day if you trade me a bag of rice. Okay, well, that trade did really good for a long time, and then they decided to create currency. I will say that money is the root of all evil to an extent. It's not exactly the money that's the root of the evil, it's how it's used. I saw a post about somebody that said, if money is the root of all evil, why does churches always ask for it? If money is the root of all evil, why do we have light bills? If money is the root of all evil, why do we have water bills? If money was the root of all evil, why do we have a roof over our head that we have to spend money on, or food in our belly that we have to spend money on? Well, back a couple of 100 years ago, people, like I said, they traded a chicken for a loaf of bread, and it worked out good. I mean, but without currency, we would probably fail. Well, ain't no probably to it. We would definitely fail. Wall Street is a big example of why capitalism is needed. But at the same time, Wall Street is an example of why capitalism will fail. See, there's a double standard there. I love double standards. I use them all the time. But capitalism is one of those that will either succeed or fail according to the currency available. And then you got people who are fighting for communism. again, how can you follow something that has known to kill 60 million people? It's kind of hard to follow along with something that has caused that many deaths. I mean, capitalism, Great Depression, communism, 60 million people died of starvation. Families, including children, wives, people lost all their employment. I mean, it's kind of a double standard, to say the least. Hi, Adrian. Hi, Bev. Hi, Miranda. I'm pro doing what you got to do to survive. I'm pro work. I'm pro employment. I'm pro living to the extreme. I'm not pro watching 60 million people starve in the name of communism and saying that that's all right. That they're saying that their role model, Vladimir, didn't do nothing wrong. That it just happened. Okay, Vladimir caused the death of 60 million people, but yet they said it was all in the name of right. I agree. Communism was population control. Very, very good, Adrian. I actually like that. Population control. 60 million people died of starvation. That's one hell of a population control right there. Capitalism could be a population control standpoint as well. I touched base on the Great Depression. We almost hit a depression once before under the tutelage of Bill Clinton. Okay. We got pretty damn close to going bankrupt with Barack Obama. Right now, we are so far in debt as a country that, well, I'm surprised that any of us are still eating, but it's going to take, but Wall Street is basically what's keeping us alive. It's what's keeping us bumping right now. If you was to go the liberal communism way out, that would basically, and this is coming from their mouths, this is basically coming from their words themselves. Get rid of all currency, give everybody a house, give everybody a job, give everybody free insurance, give everybody free education, give everybody this, all for free. Well, again, these are people that are eating Tide Pods. I'm kind of having a little problem with people eating Tide Pods, giving people advice, and people are dumb enough to accept it. Hold on, let me find something. Hold on. So if I eat one of these, will people pay closer attention? That's Clorox disinfecting wipe. I'm pretty sure it might taste good, but guess what? I'd rather wash my tables off with it. I'd rather clean off my computer with it. I'd rather wipe my television with it. Does a good job of cleaning the toilet and the sinks and the bathtub too. I don't think it's very appetizing. I haven't tasted one, so I wouldn't verify that. I probably won't be able to verify that because I don't plan on ever eating one. Okay. Now, on the other hand, Brisk iced tea tastes really good and it's healthy. Okay. Yeah, I just made fun of these people. I'm sorry. Well, actually, no, I'm not. But on the real, Okay, well, I'm going to be cutting it out here in about 3 more minutes, anyways, Adrian, because I'm at the 25-minute mark. Um, but yeah, people are going to sit there and do some silly stuff and expect to get some kind of row out of it. Well, they're succeeding. They're getting a lot of people sitting there making fun of them. I'm one of them. I'm making fun of them. I mean, our future is going down the drain one Tide Pod at a time. Our future is going down the drain by people doing stupid crap, by people putting poison in their systems, by people using drugs, by people doing stupid stuff. Now then, let me clarify this. I don't smoke weed, but I'd also consider an herb an herb. Um, Now, when you're sitting there smoking stuff that's got drain cleaner and stuff like that in it, that's a whole different ball game. It's a ball game that I'd rather not play. Now then, hello, Wally. Now then, when it comes down to people sitting there saying that certain things don't work, well, certain things will not work unless you put it into action. And by putting it in action, that doesn't mean go out in the middle of the road and try to stop traffic, or go out in the middle of the road, try to stop an ambulance from taking somebody to the hospital. That does not mean going out and punching your neighbor's grandma because you had a bad day. That means using your voice in a positive manner that doesn't exist of violence and putting on stupid stuff and eating stupid stuff. I see these challenges all the time. I'm a big fan of watching people do stupid stuff. Um, I mean, I don't have a fan club. I don't care about having a fan club. I basically say what I have to say and say what needs to be said. Our future is being corrupted by teenagers and young adults eating Tide Pods. Our future is being corrupted by people thinking that communism is a good thing when in reality it is not a good thing. We're looking at a future where people think that it's okay to follow somebody that led 60 million people to starve to death. The same people, like I said, is eating Tide Pods and recently started sticking their arms and legs and body parts on hot burners of their stoves. The same people who are strapping firecrackers around their body and blowing themselves up all in the name of challenges. The Ice Bucket Challenge was for a good cause. And yeah, people got cold, but they survived. Then they got the boiling water challenge, where people are getting their flesh burned off their bodies by hot boiling water, all in the name of a challenge that makes no sense. You got people that are eating Tide Pods as a challenge that does not make no sense. We got people drinking hot boiling water as a challenge that does not make no sense. And these are the same people that are out there drawing symbols on your streets and saying pro-communism is the way to go, pro-liberalism is the way to go. These are the same people that are pro-Antifa, they're pro-ISIS, they're pro-Islam. I am pro-intelligence, and they're pro-ignorance. And that's pretty much what I've got, guys. I'm at the 30-minute mark. Y'all have a wonderful day. God bless and enjoy the stream. Ciao.